So welcome back to the Creativity series and to day 5 of part 4. Now hopefully over the last few days you've had an opportunity to address some of the more difficult and challenging aspects of mind. Things that you perhaps couldn't find an answer to, a solution to. You now have a place to put those. There's something really, I think, very reassuring about that. Often part of the difficulty in experiencing a challenge or a difficulty is that we don't really know what to do with it. It's as though it won't go away. It just goes round and round the mind. Now we actually have a place to put it. It's not suppressing it. It's not trying to get rid of it in any way. We're just finding a skillful way of directing it and applying it to a situation. So rather than it just being on this sort of continuous loop in the mind where we just sort of think it over and get caught up in a lot of rumination, instead we're placing it, we're putting it in a space in which it can change and transform rather than being stuck in that sort of loop. So do remember that this is a very useful way, a very skillful way of taking a very difficult situation and actually getting something quite useful from it. So with that in mind, just sitting there, getting comfortable, eyes open, and just begin with some nice big deep breaths. And with the next out breath, gently closing the eyes, allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. As you take a couple of minutes just to settle in to all the different physical senses in your immediate environment. So you've probably already begun to become more familiar with the feelings in the body But as you scan down through the body today, at the same time, noticing how you're doing that. What's the underlying mood or attitude of mind, of emotion at this particular moment in time? As always, clear about your motivation. Bringing to mind, if possible, that idea of beginner's mind. So this is something new, something fresh. You're not just bringing the same idea each day. There's something very fresh about the experience and the idea of motivation and the potential for how it can have a positive influence on those around you. And knowing that as you begin today's exercise, that the visualization is something which really sort of happens on its own, just watching it, witnessing it. Takes no more effort than that. So as you become more aware of the breath now, noticing where in the body you feel it, and also the rhythm of the breath as you just settle the mind, rest the mind on that feeling, that sensation. That pinprick of light just beginning to appear, a potential for creativity beginning to appear. The middle of the chest, middle of the body, just slowly expanding. And just as you did yesterday and every other day, just watching it as it very, very slowly expands in every direction. And just following that process through in your own time, sitting with that quiet confidence, allowing that obstacle to dissolve within it, and then once again, sitting with that clear, spacious, warm, bright sense of mind and body, full of the potential of creativity. So today, just do that in your own time, allowing that process to unfold. And with the next out breath, just allowing that space to continue beyond the body as you just let the mind wander off and do whatever it wants to do. And just bringing the attention back to the body now, back to that feeling of weight, of contact, and to the other physical senses as you slowly open the eyes again, maintaining that sense of awareness, of clarity, perhaps even of calm, clear in how you feel now compared to before starting the exercise today, and clear about how you can apply this very simple and yet very effective state of mind throughout the day, no matter what you're doing or where you are. And when you've done that, you can just sit back in the chair. So hopefully yesterday you had an opportunity to really kind of bring this into your everyday life. I think there's something quite intriguing, quite exciting potentially about this idea, in so much as in order to apply this exercise, we actually need difficult situations in life. Generally, we tend to try very hard to stay clear of difficult situations and to move past challenges as quickly as possible. Because it feels a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps uncertain, and we like security in life. We like things to be definite. But of course, what this particular exercise brings about, what it almost asks of us, is for us to be a little bit more courageous and to sit with those difficulties, allowing them to be processed, allowing them to dissolve, to move on. It creates a sense of flow. So there's a certain courageousness or boldness that's required. And the beauty of it is that we don't need to fear difficult situations arising in our life, because we actually need them in order to be able to practice this particular technique. It doesn't mean going out and looking for problems. It doesn't mean causing problems. As a general rule, little challenges will just quite naturally flow into our lives. But it does mean that when they do arise, we can embrace them rather than trying to run away from them. And that's a very sort of liberating